Well, I've only been eating beef fundamentally, for almost 5 years now. I never imagined in my wildest dreams, number one, that you could just live on meat, and number two, that it would have such a salutary effect. I lost 52 pounds in 7 months. I went from 212 pounds to 165, which is exactly what I weighed when I was 23. And I've maintained that weight since.
Famous psychologist Jordan Peterson, alongside Joe Rogan, is the most well-known advocate for a carnivore diet. In this video, we're going to be having a look at the effects that this diet's had on him.
I lost 7 pounds the first month. I thought, 7 pounds, that's a lot in a month. Then I lost 7 pounds the next month. Then I lost 7 pounds the next month. I lost 7 pounds every month for 7 months. It's like I had to throw away all my clothes.
The carnivore diet is by far the most effective diet to get in shape.
I never get hungry. I'm nowhere near as hungry as I used to be. My appetite's probably fallen by 70%.
And one of the many reasons for this is the fact that it puts your body in a ketogenic state. When you eat a regular diet and your primary fuel source is carbohydrates, as soon as you run out of calories, your body is not very effective at tapping into its own body fat, and therefore you get incredibly hungry. However, on a keto diet, because you're eating fat, your body is much more efficient at running on fat. So when you run out of calories, instead of getting hungry, it can just tap into its own body fat. As well as the fact that carbohydrates increase your appetite. Whenever you eat carbohydrates, you get a significant rise in your blood sugar levels. The problem with this is when your blood sugar is elevated, another hormone known as insulin also increases to try and bring your blood sugar back down. And as soon as insulin is released, a hormone known as leptin, which is responsible for telling your body that you're full and it's time to stop eating, is blocked. And so your body's no longer going to get the signal that it's full. Meat itself is also the most filling food. So when you combine all of these factors, you can essentially eat as much as you like and still lose weight.
The advantage too of the diet, the carnivore diet in particular, is because you can eat as much as you want. It's actually not a diet.
Another massive benefit that he noticed was that he was able to gain muscle very easily.
I can put on muscle mass with no problem, even though I'm 62.
The reason for this is when you lift weights, you break down muscle fibers. So if you consume enough protein after working out, your muscles will grow back slightly bigger and stronger than last time. Since meat is incredibly high in protein, it makes perfect sense as to why you're able to gain muscle easily on this diet. The next thing he noticed is that his chronic depression and anxiety went away.
Within a week, I was 25% less anxious in the morning. Within 2 weeks, 75%, and I've been better every single day. I'm better now probably than I've ever been in my life, and I haven't been taking antidepressants for a whole year.
Now it sounds obscene how a diet could do this to someone, but what a lot of people don't know is that a lot of the hormones that make us happy are actually made in the gut. For example, 90% of serotonin is made in the gut. Plants have something in them known as defense chemicals, which helps it defend against attackers. For example, in Brussels sprouts, there are over 120 different identified carcinogens in it. I made an entire video on this, breaking down how plants are problematic for humans, which I'll link to at the end of this video. These defense chemicals in some people become incredibly inflammatory, and as a result it disrupts their ability to make these hormones. The next effect that the carnivore diet had was that all of his autoimmune conditions resolved themselves.
I had a host of inflammatory conditions, some of which were quite serious, including peripheral uveitis, which sometimes blinds people, in my right eye, and it disappeared completely, along with psoriasis and gastric reflux disorder, and interestingly enough, gum disease, which is technically incurable and which has gone away 100% in my case.
Now again, to many this will seem unbelievable how a diet can cause all these issues. But once again, the defense chemicals in plants are very problematic for a lot of people. The next thing he noticed is that his cognition improved significantly, which typically tends to happen very rarely as people get older.
I noticed that as I got older, my ability to concentrate when I was reading was deteriorating. And when I started this carnivore diet, that reversed. And I can now, I actually think this is true. I think I can read faster and more efficiently than I could when I was in my 20s.
Now, one of the primary reasons for this is, again, the ketogenic state that we talked about earlier. The brain's preferred fuel source is ketones, which is what is produced when you're in a ketogenic state. And so by allowing the brain to have its preferred fuel source, you're going to feel a lot sharper mentally, which is exactly what he experienced. If you have any other questions, or there's something that I missed that you want to let me know about, comment that down below as well. Above, I have an attached video where I break down exactly how the plant's defense mechanisms that I talked about throughout this video work, in which I explain how eating plants is terrible for humans. Thank you for watching.